guys, it's Kristen from Anime Collective. So I'm super happy today because my most anticipated Naruto Shippuden statue arrived, and it's Jimei Palace's Pain statue. Surprisingly, even though Payne is one of my favorite characters ever, this is the first statue I have of him in my collection, but I think I have like 2 more on the way, so you can expect a lot more of him this year and beyond. As you guys may know, I really love collecting Naruto Shippuden, but I especially love collecting the Akatsuki members. And this is my first one from Jimei Palace also, so I was super excited to unbox and review this one for you guys. Also guys, I have a lot more anime statues on the way this year. Yes, a lot of those are from Naruto, but many others are from other anime series like Demon Slayer, Bleach, and more. I'd also love to know what your guys' favorite statue of Payne is that has released so far. Does this take the top spot in your guys' opinion? Let me know in the comments. Anywho, let's get into the unboxing and review. As always, we're going to kick things off taking a closer look at the pieces, then Brad's going to assemble the statue for you guys, and then we'll do a statue showcase at the end. Let's take a closer look at the pieces that came with this statue. Before we get into the pieces, here's a quick look at the art box the statue came in, which has a photo of the statue and the Naruto Shippuden and Jimei Palace logos on it. So the entire statue came shipped in a single box with a really sturdy foam insert inside it that houses all the pieces. Everything came secure, and I was really impressed with their shipping. So there are many different rocks that come with this statue, and they all feature similar texturing and paint that make them look real. A few like this one are smaller ones that are added around the statue and key in a way that makes them look as if they are being pulled in by the gravitational force of the sphere. The way they are chiseled makes them look as if they have been broken apart from the earth, and they are done really well. Up next are these clear resin effect pieces that look a lot like what we see on some Dragon Ball statues, with the colors they painted them in and how they transform from these deeper golds to brighter yellows. I'm only going to showcase a few because while there are quite a bit of these on the statue, they all feature similar paint and have a similar look. These are interpretations that are meant to show the massive amount of energy that's being expelled during this scene, and they are all sculpted upward, which leads your eye from the base to the top of the statue. I also like these additions because they add more motion and color to this piece. You also have these rocky pieces that are sculpted with dust clouds as well. The dust clouds that are added to this add this illusion and shooting effect that makes them look as if they are being projected towards the sphere, which is really cool. I really prefer how they painted and sculpted the clouds over the other statues I've seen of Payne. I also like the look of Surge Studios' Payne statue, but I thought the clouds looked a bit like of all things burnt marshmallows on that one, and once I saw that, I couldn't get that out of my mind. Don't get me wrong though, I still really like that statue. I just like how Jimei Palace executed the dust clouds in particular more, because they have a more natural, subtle debris-filled look to them with the way they shaded them. And here's Payne's body sculpt. I like that his hands are clasped far down enough that you're able to see all of the details on his face when you put it on. He has his necklace around his neck, and they painted his fingernails red, and he has his Akatsuki ring on his right thumb, which are all accurate. The pose they put him in looks powerful with his Akatsuki cloak half ripped down his body like it is when he is performing the Planetary Devastation. The subtle shading on his body adds more definition, and the black receivers on his body that resemble piercings are cleanly painted here, which you'll also see on his head sculpts later on. Also, the way they sculpted his cloak flying outwards from the force of all that's happening around him makes him look that much more imposing in this wide-legged stance he's in. And the Akatsuki clouds on his cloak are painted with this bold white outline on them too that makes them pop even more. They really paid attention to all of the details on the statue, but the body and head sculpts are 2 areas in which Jimei Palace impressed me the most. Up next are the head sculpts, and man, in my opinion, these are the best portraits I've seen of him. This is the most accurate I've seen from a studio in terms of likeness for Payne's main face Yahiko, with all his features and his characteristic spiky orange hair. The first head sculpt shows him with his headband on. All of those concentric circles of the Rinnegan in his eyes are perfectly spaced apart, the spikes in his hair look amazing and are incredibly sculpted. They even added some touches of light orange against the darker shades to add some highlights in his hair. The furrow of his brows and the intense yet expressionless look they achieved also look awesome. And all of the piercings on his face and ears have been recreated as well, and the paintwork on these is clean and precise. The second portrait shows him without his headband on and features the same high-level detailing in the hair and on his face. You can see how well they sculpted the furrow in his brow and the paintwork of his eyebrows even more so here. And he also has a slightly different expression here with the corners of his mouth turned down. So up next is the piece with the LED sphere in the center. So the LED ball in the center, which is the sphere in the core of the Planetary Devastation, is normally a black sphere. I'm guessing they made this clear and transparent as an interpretation because very briefly in the beginning stages of it being made, it's more of a ball of light at first, but not in this particular moment as it's attracting everything around it. I personally don't mind this because the transparent clear sphere allows the light to really shine through on the statue and it looks great when lit, and it even has this opalescent effect as light moves through it, which you'll see in the showcase. I also really love how they were able to achieve the look as if these pieces of rocky earth and rubble are floating and are actually being pulled in by its force. It's a really cool effect, and how they engineered this to look as if it's forming around the sphere in the center and levitating there is incredible. You'll see during assembly the different rocky pieces key in around this piece to further build up upon this effect. Up next is the base. So the base has a minimal look to it, which I like, but it also has a lot of nice detailing on it. You have this badge in the center, which has this silver metallic finish, is made to look like the plate on his headband. It comes separately sculpted and keys into the center of the base with a magnet. Here's a quick look at that piece up close, and you can also see the sheen it has better here. The rest of the base is painted in a matte black, but there is this band in the center that is painted in this deep red, and it has a pattern of the Akatsuki clouds all around it. All of these details are painted on in a way so that they appear raised or inset in the base, by the way, which is really nice. Atop the base, you have this rocky ground, which is protruding outwards over the edges as if it is split, and more dust clouds, which are sculpted atop it. This is built upon with more separately sculpted rock and cloud pieces, which you'll see in assembly. The only thing I will say is that some of the areas where the clouds meet the rock aren't 100% flush, so you can see some small gaps between them on occasion. Just something to note. And finally, here is the coin that comes with the statue, and it features the artwork of Payne's head sculpt. Now that you've seen the pieces up close, let's assemble the statue. As Brad's assembling the statue, I want to talk about my overall thoughts on this statue and what's coming next from Jimei Palace. So first off, assembly-wise, there were no fit issues while assembling this statue. But there are a lot of pieces and a lot that are similar looking, like the rocks and effect pieces, so the statue had a longer assembly time than the rest of the statues in my collection. Luckily, they included assembly instructions that were super helpful. In terms of what I think about this statue, the way all the pieces key in together to form the overall setting of this scene is well done. With all of the rocky debris and all of the dust cloud pieces that go on the statue has a lot going on. But the way they added these pieces atop one another to further build upon the grandiosity of this moment makes this one of the most smartly engineered statues we've assembled so far. From concept to fruition, Jimei Palace is a studio that always seems to set the bar, and their Payne statue is a remarkable addition to their growing line of anime statues from Naruto. Payne's sculpt is definitely one of the biggest highlights of this statue, but the way in which they got all of the rocks around him to look as if they are really flying upwards is incredible. This one has a powerful presence, and you can feel the energy that's radiating from the statue thanks to the pose they put him in, the effect pieces they added, and all of these elements that are seemingly defying gravity. I'll never forget this moment because it is one that gave me chills and one of the most jaw-dropping scenes I've ever witnessed. Jimei Palace recreated this moment in statue form really well, and I'm excited to finally have a statue of Payne in my collection. Jimei also recently put up their Kakashi statue for pre-order, and that one looks badass as well. I unfortunately still haven't got my hands on that one, but with releases like these and after seeing their work firsthand with this statue of Payne, I can't wait to see what other Naruto Shippuden statues they're going to come out with next. I'm also happy because they teased that they'll be releasing a statue of one of my favorite characters, Itachi, so I'm super excited about that as well. If there's two characters you'll see I can't practice restraint with, it's Itachi and Payne, so you'll see a lot of statues of both coming to the channel. What about you guys? What is the next statue you are hoping Jimei Palace makes from the series? I'm interested to see what's on everyone's wish list. Now that it's all assembled, let's get into the showcase. More statue unboxings of Payne are coming to the channel this year, and many more from Naruto as well. I also have the Prime 1 Studios 1/3 scale Guts unboxing coming to the channel next week. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like because it really helps support the channel. Thanks so much for watching. I'm excited to share more with you guys, and I'll see you next time.